What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to Tom and Joey Entertainment, a.k.a. TJENT. This is Real Talk with Tom and Joey, but this is not our normal episode.
It is not.
It is not a normal episode.
Medieval edition.
Medieval Real Talk with Tom and Joey. This is, and forever will be, the Game of Thrones reaction segment.
Forever? So even when Game of Thrones is gone, we're
Yes.
still going to talk about it?
This will still be the reactions.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So throughout the Game of Thrones season 7, whether it's 8 episodes,
I don't even know
they,
anymore.
They change it every day.
There's 20 episodes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I believe there's 8.
I think there's 30.
We'll go with 30.
Okay.
But as long as season 7 goes, we'll go with that. Every single week on Tuesday at noon Eastern time here on youtube.com/TJENT, we will be posting our reactions to each Game of Thrones episode throughout the season 7.
So we're reacting to reactions?
They're
of?
reacting to our reactions, reacting
Reactception.
to the reactor.
Got it. Bingo bango.
Speaking of, Tom, how you doing?
I'm all right.
All right.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
You all right?
Nothing new. Just another Monday.
Fair enough.
Case of the Mondays.
Yeah, case of the Mondays. But I'll give you a little overview on how each week is going to go. Each week, we're just going to come in here and we're going to dive right into our reactions of each episode. And then we're going to go to fan reactions or Patreon supporter reactions in particular. And we'll explain that more when we get there. And then finally, we're going to do a little special segment called Game of Thrones Power Rankings.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming we're going to be ranking some sort
Of power.
Okay. Got
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yes.
I'm all about it.
It's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun. You guys are going to have a lot of fun. And feel free to let us know, however way possible, Patreon, in the YouTube comments below, what you think of each episode as it goes through this wonderful season 7.
No, it has to be through Raven.
has to be,
If it's going to be a critique with Game of Thrones, it's got to
Yes.
be
well played.
Raven.
Well played. So let's just swan dive into this. Tom, what were your initial thoughts?
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
Way sweet. Because the thing that I was thinking about this on my commute back today, I was like, we're in the money spot of Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is like
They're throwing haymakers left and right.
Yeah, and every episode's packed. But what I like about it is this is what everything's coming to fruition that you want to come to light.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be because there's so much like little time left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they have to pack in a lot of plotline advancement into each episode.
Exactly. To close it.
Which makes for a very exciting season.
Right. And that's why the episodes will probably be longer.
Mm-hmm.
Most
Yeah, I
likely.
think last night's was like 68 minutes as
Yeah.
opposed to like normal like 59, I think.
Right. So I mean that's cool. They covered all the bases too.
Mm-hmm.
So no one was really left out.
Yeah, that was really nice. They covered each plot line, whether it was a lot, like they covered a lot of
Right.
Sam, your favorite,
Right.
in this episode, which we'll get to later, but a lot of big revelations came out of just that small time,
Yeah.
especially with his,
It
unpaid internship style.
And it
work.
wasn't too much time.
Right.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, was I thrilled about it? No, but it wasn't like fucking 30 minutes
Yeah.
of him and Gilly just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah,
Because that's my beef is when they followed their storyline, it was just them like on an adventure together.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, okay, there's substance, but
he's
like
in the Citadel. He's figuring shit out that could eventually save the
right,
show.
which is important. But I just didn't need to see him and Gilly talk about like how they're gonna name their kid Sam because she likes Sam and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Like that the episode before, I think it was Battle of the Bastards when they're in the ship and there's just them talking, and I'm
talking
like,
about where they're going.
I'm just like, seriously,
Yeah.
like why just go there.
Just give me just some bastards battling.
Yeah, and just get there, and then tell her, oh yeah, by the way, you're gonna stay here because it's safe.
Yeah.
And then she can say, instead of 5 minutes of, oh, but you're Sam and I want to stay with you, blah blah blah, she can just suck it up, realize that she should just stay safe in a baller ass castle, and that's it.
Yeah.
Then 45-second scene, boom, done.
Boom, done. That plot line is finished. But this episode 1 started out with just a bang with
Yeah.
Arya.
Which
Before we start, I mean, I might have just slipped a little bit there. Spoilers,
alert.
yeah. I mean, there's going to
Yeah.
be spoilers aplenty in each one of these episodes. So if you
Yeah.
haven't watched each episode, be smart. You
Yeah.
know when you don't want
But
to
I mean, a reaction video would probably
it's pretty
imply.
self-explanatory.
Yeah. But
So in the first scene,
I knew that was happening right away.
because you said that, and you said, "Oh, I could have seen that from a mile away." And when initially, before she took off the mask, I thought that was like a flashback going like Walder Frey was pissed about something, and then he was taken out.
So you never thought it was Arya ever?
No, not
Okay.
not initially. I
Okay.
thought they were doing a flashback in Walder Frey. They were going to explain why he did this later. I thought he was just setting the ship on fire
Gotcha.
and just burning the whole place down for some reason that they would explain later.
Gotcha.
But then the two things that tipped me off before she actually took off the mask was one, when she was almost guilting them for killing the
Right.
Starks and
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
like
they
stabbing
they
a
slaughtered,
mother of, like,
slitting the
5.
throat,
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
And then when he, or Arya, I guess technically, turned to the girl that was standing next to him and said, he didn't want to waste good wine or whatever. And I was like, oh,
See,
something's
the
gonna happen.
second I saw all the phrase together, I was like, okay, they're all gonna die. And the second,
especially how they started the season like that. It was pretty, like,
Yeah.
something was going to happen.
yeah, and I mean it's big, but it wasn't like that was a good short scene
Mhm.
that packed a lot of power. But the second I saw them all have a glass, I was like, oh, they're all poisoned.
When they
like
when
it
they,
wasn't
when they
even
started
close.
to spread the wine around, it's like, yeah. Now looking back at it, I can
Yeah.
see that would just be like.
And the
biggest
second I
takeoff.
saw Walder up there, like I didn't even have to hear him talk, and I was like, it's Arya,
Yeah.
and she just poisoned them all, and this is gonna be awesome.
Badass, regardless.
Yeah.
One of the more badass things I've
Well,
ever seen in the show.
And the thing is, I wasn't also a big fan of Arya's plot line in the last season because she just got her ass kicked,
Yeah.
and then she just leaves, and I'm like,
Like,
okay.
Nobody cared that she
and
left.
I knew that she would like have some of the skills that she like learned or whatever, but man, it was just like, this is so lame. Like, why do I have to watch her just get her ass repeatedly kicked every episode? Why
Yeah.
can't she finally like go out and do something? So for her to actually do something, it's like, okay, at least you're relevant.
Yeah.
You can play a part now. You can be a big character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it went to, obviously that was the pre-intro scene,
Right.
and then I think it went to Cersei, right? That was the second scene, or it went to either Cersei or Jon when they were debating on what to do with the Khal Starks.
I think it was Cersei though.
So yeah,
I think.
Cersei. It was. I mean, if you've watched our show before and you watched our Game of Thrones predictions, you know that I'm a big fan of Cersei as a character. As always, we've gone through this, but one of the things that was pretty badass was that map on the floor.
Wow.
Like I just thought like just her walking around and like that whole scene, like she's walking through.
Can
and
she do
looking
any
at the
wrong
map.
in your eyes?
No, I just thought like having that map, like if I were gonna build a castle and be in the Game of Thrones, like having that map on the floor with how big it was and how like detailed
That's what
it
you
was.
took. That's what you took away
It was
from that.
pretty badass. I mean, not all I took away from it because obviously they were plotting and deciding and determining that everyone in the entire
I'm
world
gonna
was
put
against them.
a big bold prediction and say that you're probably the only one that I'm gonna hear talk about the map in that episode.
I don't know. They made it a pretty big emphasis. It was just like an overview, like vertical camera over the whole map.
Where she proceeded to just talk to Jamie the whole time.
Well, she walked over the map and talked about how they had enemies in each spot and where they were trying
Right.
to find friends.
But they could have done that with anything. It just happened to be a map
True,
that was painted
but
on the floor.
the imagery and the picture
All right,
that you're
all
getting
right,
in your
all
head
right,
as
yeah.
you're going through and plus
Fair.
for someone who doesn't know the exact map of how Westeros is,
You mean
then it
that they don't
was-
watch the intro ever?
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that's true. I do.
Because
I
they do show
I
it
remember
every
you-
single
Yeah,
time.
'cause I remember you told me that they changed the intro
Yeah.
throughout the show,
And
as,
you
like,
get
each
a
house takes over
and
each
they
place.
foreshadow what storylines are going to follow because some places will be left off on
Mhm.
the intro and some of them won't. So like last season when they went to the Iron Islands, I noticed that was in the intro and I was like, okay, now we're about to get some Greyjoy action
Yeah.
because that wasn't in there before.
Yeah.
So then this time I can't even remember, but there was it was Dragonstone.
Oh,
They-
yep.
They
Yeah.
showed Dragonstone and I don't remember a single time where they've done that before. Or
I
like
don't-
Marine.
I totally didn't even realize that the place that Stannis was initially when the show started was Dragonstone.
I mean, until
I
you
don't
said
even remember
that.
him mentioning it.
I mean, I didn't even think that until you said it, but
Because the only thing I recognized when they did that scene when
was the
Daenerys
board.
was the table.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I recognize that now.
Yeah.
So still playing on that Cersei and Jaime scene, what did you think of Euron? Because of the Uncle Greyjoy, because I thought he looked a lot different from when we last saw him, and I think I don't know, it was just something about
I mean, he's the new villain.
and it was just something
Him and
about the way
Cersei.
he was dressed, and I don't know, like in the all black, he kind of had like the pirate mode, like Pirate King mode, and he looked pretty badass as like a pirate villain. Like, all right, here's the new villain of the show. That's not the White Walkers. We're gonna try our best to make him like kind of a badass. Because
I guess.
he just kind of, I don't know. I don't really know how to put it.
But he
I was
doesn't
just watching it last
to me.
night
It's
and
like
it
he
just-
doesn't have anything that causes a problem.
Well,
like-
he has. Well, my thing is, this is one of the things that I thought about last night that I wanted to talk to you about. He talked about with Cersei, about I have 1,000 ships for you, and they talked about that at the end of season 6. How the fuck do you build 1,000 ships that fast?
Well, that was the whole season, or that was the whole final episodes. He said, "Build me 1,000 ships, and I'll give you the world."
I just,
Because that's how. I mean,
man, that must have been some pretty tough
I mean,
shipbuilding.
that's the whole point, though. I mean,
What with Greyjoys and ships?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
that's their armada.
That's
I mean,
true.
because the Greyjoys, Theon and his sister didn't leave with
Yara.
all of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they only took some.
Yeah, so not everyone left with them. A lot of
Mhm.
them stayed back with Eren. So they had a lot of people, and when you no longer have a castle to defend, and you just say, "Screw it, we're leaving. We're taking all our ships."
I
I
mean,
don't
for Euron, it's the right move and pretty much the only move. for
Yeah,
him
I
at
don't
this
know
point.
about right move. I mean, he could just bend the knee to someone else
True.
and not be a dick.
Yeah.
I would say that's the right move.
Probably from his perspective, but he's in full on villain mode now.
Right, I know. I'm just saying I don't think it's the right move because he's going to get shit wrecked.
Right.
Because he has nothing over anyone else.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
mean,
true.
Jon has a better army and a bigger army. Daenerys has a bigger army and a better army.
And dragons.
Yeah, but I'm including that in
Right.
her army.
Right.
Because your ships aren't going to do anything when her dragons burn them all down like they
Yeah.
have before.
Yeah.
So
The ones that are, the size of the Eiffel
Like-
Tower.
like Cersei and Eren combining just creates another villain, but I'm not that interested in it because
Really?
I
I'm kind of interested in Euron.
I don't really care about either of them because they're gonna get shit slammed because they don't have enough.
Yeah.
They think they do. They're so like Cersei. The reason why I don't think she's a good villain is because she thinks she has a lot more than she does. Her and Jaime are the last Lannisters really because Tyrion is no longer a part of the family.
Yeah.
Obviously,
He
I
doesn't
mean,
give a shit about the family.
yeah,
obviously.
exactly. So, yeah, you're technically the queen, but the entire North hates you.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
like she's
Jaime even said it. Queen of like 3 or 4 kingdoms at
yeah,
best.
yeah, and it's like, okay, and her and Euron aren't even together.
Yeah.
Like that still isn't established. So I mean, whatever. I don't know. I'm not that interested in it to be honest. I'm on the White Walker train. So
Fair enough.
that's,
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting because you got to think the producers, now that obviously they're deviating from the books and doing kind of like their own thing, you got to
Yeah.
think that the producers think that, okay, everyone in the show probably, or everyone that's watching the show probably think that Cersei doesn't have a chance in hell. So let's see if we can build a plot line that kind of not necessarily puts her in a position to win,
yeah.
but definitely gives her a better chance.
Gives her a
so it's
fighter's
not-
chance, yeah.
So the predictability is not there.
And I mean, Euron did say, "Oh, I'll give you a gift."
Yeah,
And
what do
we
you think that
And we
is?
still don't know what the gift is. And I mean, there's so many theories, but I don't know.
Because one theory I read was Gendry was the Baratheon, because we haven't seen him since
Yeah.
Davos let him go on that
Yeah.
boat. But my thing is that I don't know what that would really do.
Well, and the thing is, I just don't know what Euron knows because he specifically went after Cersei and said, "Oh, I have a gift." He clearly has an idea of what she would want.
Her specifically.
So I just don't know what he knows and what he might not like. What he thinks he knows and what might not be relevant.
Mm.
So I don't know. Like I'm curious, I guess, but I don't really care that much.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where Euron's story goes, just because I think they did a good job developing his character's personality and kind of like the Pirate King persona, and I kind of get into that a little bit. On to the next few scenes. Then we had Jon and Sansa determining what they were going to do with the traitors that fought for
Yeah.
the Boltons, and we saw a clash with Jon and Sansa a little bit already.
For like a half
the
a
thing-
second,
yeah,
but they
but the
make
thing
up
is-
with it immediately.
But
Like,
yeah, and that's my thing, because I've read a few like synopsis and other people's reviews and
Yeah.
like theories on the episode, and they were talking about like I think it has one to do with our fan post as well, that they were talking about the clash between them, but they already addressed it after the clash, and Sansa said that herself, and that she's like, "You're getting good at this, like you're good
Yeah,
at ruling."
yeah. I don't think I don't know. I think that's blown out of proportion, and
Mhm.
I also think it was funny because we talked about this just for like 2 seconds last night. Sansa goes and is like, "Jon, you should listen to me. I know him. I know her.
Yeah,
blah blah
we're
blah."
watching the Battle
Yeah.
of the Bastards,
And then immediately says, "I don't know about battles and White Walkers and
Yeah.
blah blah blah." And I was
Yeah.
like, "So shut your goddamn mouth!
yeah,
Like,
it's like
don't say, 'Oh, I know all this stuff. You should listen to me. Listen to me.' Well, I don't know about this."
Yeah.
Like, Jon knows what he saw and knows what's coming,
Mhm.
and no, like that's the battle he always has faced. he has to explain it to people who either don't believe him or don't understand how like serious this actually is.
Yeah.
So he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, but like Sansa listens to him and she likes Jon.
Yeah.
She respects Jon. So
I mean, they have to know that they have to stick together.
yeah,
to their
people are
knowledge,
implying
they're
that
the
they're
only
gonna break
Starks left.
apart, but like it's just not gonna happen. Well, no, they know that Arya's still alive.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Brienne, remember when she
Oh
told
yeah,
Sansa,
Toph, that's right.
she was like, "Oh yeah, I looked for her for 3 days, couldn't find her." Blah blah
She
blah.
ran away. That's
So
right.
I mean, Jon. The thing is, Jon doesn't care about ruling, and I don't think Sansa does either. I just think that Sansa has blood in her eyes and wants revenge, and
Jon's just like, we have to get everybody possible on our team because we're
Yeah.
about to get fucked.
yeah, and then we'll deal with who crossed us. But
Yeah.
there's not too many people that crossed us left.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in all reality, for them, it's just kill the Lannisters.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 left.
Yeah.
And the Mountain.
But true. That's true. Okay, then we went to Sam, obviously in the Citadel, which
Yeah.
is that whole scene with him dealing with all this shit, and then they showed.
Oh, that was glorifying.
I
That
know
was
you were
so,
bummed
that
about
was
that.
that was satisfying.
And then it was so funny to see that they had beans for dinner, and then they showed him cleaning out
Yeah.
the troughs and stuff, and that was so funny how they did like the quick editing, and they kept
Yeah.
going to like him making the puking sounds and
Yeah.
stuff. I thought that was hilarious. But then he went and
To the cells.
yeah, and he went into that hidden place of the library when he stole
Oh,
the keys
yeah.
and stuff, and he looked up stuff, and I was reading some articles where they were talking about hints that you might have missed with the books that he was reading because of the pictures that he was showing.
Mhm.
And I remember the flashback when they were talking about when Jon and him were talking about the White Walkers, and they were talking about how much Dragonstone they needed, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna need a mountain of it." It's
Yeah.
like, well,
Yeah.
the mountain of it is at Dragonstone, which I didn't even know that the castle at Dragonstone was built on a mountain
Of Dragonstone. Yeah, yeah.
which is pretty nuts.
I mean, that was like
Did they talk about that? Did they talk about how Dragonstone specifically? I don't even remember the word Dragonstone being mentioned anywhere before the season, even when
Well,
Stannis was there.
no, it was because of Valyrian steel. That's why it's important. Because
okay.
they figured out that that's what kills White Walkers.
That's
Because
what
they
you make Valyrian steel with.
yeah, because they didn't know. Well, because they didn't know what was going to kill a White Walker, and then they figured out Sam killed it,
Mhm.
killed one, and then Jon kills one, and they're like, okay, what's going on? And then they figure out that it's because of Valyrian steel. We take Dragonstone, we put it
Make
to make
it in
to
Valyrian steel.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
that makes sense.
So then they start saying, okay, they have an army of them. Everything needs to be made out of it because
Yeah.
our arrows aren't going to do anything.
Everything possible that we can throw.
And
at
if you
them.
die, you become one.
Yep.
So, yeah, they need as much as possible.
Fair enough.
So, when he said, "Yeah, there's a mountain," blah blah blah, yeah, it's like finding like an ammo dump that's a mountain high.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it was pretty interesting that they named the episode Dragonstone, and yet only really spent like the last 5 or 10 minutes with Daenerys.
Yeah,
walking back
it just
home, and then
implies
she
how
ended
important
with
it is. I mean, the episode titles don't really mean much.
True.
Like
Or the door one, I would say that's one that
But
sticks out in my head.
but
as the
that one,
title.
I mean, that was only one scene.
True.
Like,
Oh, yeah, you're
what,
right,
what
yeah.
does the door have to do with anything else other than just that one scene?
True.
Or Mother's Mercy.
Yeah.
She says it like twice in that. No, once in that episode.
Oh yeah,
And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an episode title.
true.
But
Definitely a very good premiere of a season.
yeah, I agree.
Definitely one of their best.
Yeah.
So, now that you've heard our reactions to season 7, episode 1, we're going to get into some Patreon supporter reactions, and
where is that located?
that is located on patreon.com/TJENT if you want to contribute to our weekly reaction to shows as well. We're going to run a special throughout the season 7 of Game of Thrones that no matter what tier you are, from $1 to $10, obviously because those are the only tiers we have right now, you can have the ability to post your reactions to each Game of Thrones episode on our Patreon wall, and we will show them on the show and talk about them. So no matter what tier you are, you can be able to contribute to this show specifically.
And you've read them. I have not.
True.
So I'm just going to let you read them live.
Yeah, some of them are reactions and some of them are kind of like theories, so we'll kind of step through each one of them and see what we think.
And I'm not a big theory guy. I kind of just like taking it for what it's worth. I don't watch previews. I don't read into things. I don't listen to other people because I just want to be like
develop your own thing.
not even develop it. I just want to experience it
Fair
on
enough.
my own. But hey,
Fair enough. So the first response about Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 1 that we have is from a Patreon supporter, Tanner Stewart,
T-Stew.
great friend of the show.
Great guy.
Just a few Game of Thrones theories, so we'll just go for a few theories. Bran passing through the wall totally broke the magical barrier around it.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And see, I didn't know anything about that there was like a magic barrier with the wall.
Yeah, they explained that.
Did they?
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm just not on the right page with this.
Yeah.
Being the sole reason why the White Walkers make it south of the wall, and then Nymeria is back. What do they show any scenes with a wolf? Because he says frame after frame of a direwolf, then Arya. I don't remember anything.
I don't
with the
remember
direwolf.
that. Yeah, I don't.
But I
remember.
definitely think that's one plot line that I'm very excited to see.
Yeah.
Because we talked about the other night. Because Lady is the only direwolf that's died.
No,
Oh, and
no,
Rob's.
no. They're all dead except for 2.
Oh,
Everyone's is dead.
Lady.
Ghost, no.
Lady's dead.
Lady's dead.
Yeah. Ghost.
Shaggy Dog is dead.
Yes. Ghost and Summer. Are the
Summer
only
is dead.
Brands died. Oh yeah, White
Yeah.
Walkers. You told me that last night.
Yeah, Ghost, and Lymeria are the only ones alive.
Right. I'm way behind on my direwolf knowledge.
We just talked about this the other night.
You're-
They're all alive except for like 2.
No.
They're
it's
all
the complete
dead.
opposite. We just
Okay.
talked about this.
Nymeria and Ghost are still alive.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Can't
And-
wait to see those.
And Lymeria, for anyone that's not caught up, basically we just haven't seen her in forever.
Yeah.
Ghost is obviously just with John.
True.
So
Badass direwolves. Way pumped to see where that goes. Then possibility of Beric Dondarrion, Thor, Zambar the Hound, and Tormund all fighting together on the Watch, which would be dope
correct.
because they're all heading
But
that way.
I don't want Tormund to die.
True.
So I don't really like him being the first line of
Tormund
defense.
is hands, and we were talking about this last night.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of second tier characters,
Yeah.
Tormund's the man.
He's like the Stan Marsh of South Park. Like he's
Yeah.
not a main character, but like I love him so much as that like next tier of main characters.
Yeah.
that- oh my god,
And
he's the man.
the grunt when he
Kill.
the grunt when he makes when he's
And
fighting is just
And
awesome.
him and Brienne.
Oh, yeah, hit the looks that he gives her all the time.
anything he does with her is just hysterical.
yeah, it's hilarious.
When she punches Podrick and he's, oh, you're a lucky man.
Yeah.
I was dying.
And then the last thing he says is Sam is and this is one interesting thing that I found from his post was Sam is totally going to cure Jorah's grayscale.
Yeah.
Do you
Which
think that'll happen?
I just
Because
don't.
it looks grayscale is disgusting. That shit.
I don't
looks
see why
so-
you think that's
I
like
don't know
so
what
gross.
I don't know what
like,
it is, but it's just like
I don't
stuff
know.
on skin that's like
I think it's
scaly.
I just think it's dope. Like
I mean, it's an interesting and unique type disease and especially the ramifications that come from it. But it just anything on skin that's like growing to me is just fucking disgusting.
yeah, you are not a fan.
No,
because I didn't
not
think it
at
was
all.
like. I mean, it's just a hand. I don't know.
It's just, ugh, it's
But
just
I
disgusting.
don't know. I'm not like Ser Jorah doesn't do much for me. Like if he dies, he dies. If
Yeah,
he
because
doesn't, he doesn't.
like if he comes back and is cured, I don't really see what he contributes in the. Especially now that we're coming down to cutting time, like this, I don't really see what he contributes to the grand picture of. Game of
yeah,
Thrones.
I don't really know. But
But why would they show him out of all the scenes? Just show him like reaching his hand out and just like that random 15 seconds.
he was a big enough character that they'll at least give him like 10-second slots.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's a great call though.
Yeah,
I think that's
it's
very
definitely
ast-
interesting
astute
theory.
observation, and
Yeah.
that definitely could happen.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, then we have our next post. We only had 2, but we're gonna work our way up.
Yep.
Hopefully, we'll have to deal through hundreds of these
Yeah.
eventually. But it was from Adam Plumstead, another great fan of the show, contributed with our first topic, which was
Truth.
yesterday, because we're
Truth.
gonna be watching this at Tuesday at noon. So he said, this is more of reaction rather than theories. He said, Arya was awesome. He said, quotes in all caps, the North remembers, which is great. And then he said, this seemed like a Jon, Sansa, Cersei, Jaime, and Dany Tyrion are all planning their next steps. And I think that was kind of how they were approaching the
And that-
season 1. Like with Arya in
Yeah.
the first scene, we're going to give you Game of Thrones excitement, bad shit. I mean, at least for me, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
We're going to give you that. And then throughout the entire episode, we're going to build these plot lines and show you where the show is at.
Yeah. And I mean, it ended with Daenerys saying,
Let's do it.
Let's begin.
Yeah.
Or should we get started? I
Yeah.
think that was the exact quote. So
Yeah.
it's like she's making moves.
Yeah.
And she's not slowing down, that's for sure.
It's gonna be so awesome. And he says, I'm excited to see the faceless man Arya with her full grown direwolf. Again, direwolf love. Cannot wait to see those. It's good to see the Hound have a soul and have some remorse about the dead family.
Yeah.
Then he says he has an unpopular opinion that the Ed Sheeran scene was a waste. And then the scene was to show Arya that not all the Lannister Army is cruel like Cersei, and then Ed stole the moment from Arya. Which there's definitely some truth to that because you bring in such like a global
Phenomenon.
of Ed
person.
Sheeran, and then it's like this, it's kind of an important scene because Arya is going into that camp, see the Lannister red, and thinks, I'm gonna take
kill
all these guys.
I'm gonna kill them
heads."
all. Yeah, and
And then
she
she sits
changes
down
her
and
mind.
realizes,
They're not all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
that
it's
was
just the queen.
I don't know. That was just a weird scene. If that wasn't in the episode, I don't think it would have made any difference. I thought
I totally thought if they were gonna bring Ed Sheeran in, that they would have gave him some nasty death or something. like
yeah,
that.
right. Well, because Conor McGregor's in the season too. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm still waiting. That dude is definitely in Urine's.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be like his right hand man. or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Because he said that he has like 2 lines or something, and
Mhm.
that's it, and he dies. So
Definitely gonna be interesting to see that.
yeah. But I kind of agree with Adam because yeah, it's a little bit distracting, and that scene just didn't offer too much
Mhm.
to me. Like it doesn't carry the story along.
Yeah.
Too much, but it does open the door for, well, if the Lannister army isn't all bad, can they convert?
Yeah.
Because if they start saying, you know what, fuck Cersei, I'm not about this life, like maybe they could band together with a
Mhm.
Stark or Targaryen army and not care, just like the Wildlings did.
And my thing is that Arya said she was heading to King's Landing to kill the queen, but then at the end of season 6, she said she was going back home to Winterfell. So
Yeah.
do you think she's actually going back to Winterfell, or do you think that the producers tried to change like her final destination? I mean, I don't want to say without us noticing, but she
Well-
clearly said that she was heading towards King's Landing, and at the end of season 6, she said she was heading to
Well, she
Winterfell
said she was going home, but she had her list. So I
True.
just think that she's going home, but
after.
that implies I'm going to take out people I need to take out on my way.
And after seeing her kill all the Freys, it'll be interesting to see whether she or Jaime ends up killing Cersei.
Yeah.
Because I could totally see, since she's on.
Oh
she's been
god,
on
how
the
lame
list
would it
since
be if
number
Jamie
one.
ends up killing Arya though?
That would be super
I
lame.
would-
That
I
would be
would-
like a Red Wedding esque. Like
Yeah, just
ugh,
like oh god,
why did you do that?
screw you, George R.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, we're going to premiere our Game of Thrones power rankings, and we're gonna do a top 5. And it's
Okay.
just like kind of after each episode. So, like for example, just a little spoiler for my Power 5. Daenerys is not in my Power 5 right now, and it's just because they haven't really showed a lot with her. I mean, she's getting a Dragonstone, so obviously she's prepping for something.
So these are just your favorite characters so far.
Well, I think they're the 5 ones that like, I don't know. It has to do with kind of how the season 6 ended up, and then kind of how season 7 started. So we'll go through each one.
You do yours.
What do you want to do each at a time? So
No,
I'll
just do your 5.
Okay. Well, my 5 are number 5 is Littlefinger, because I think that he had, using the Knights of the Vale in the Battle of the Bastards, gained kind of Sansa's trust back a little bit. But then even in episode 1, you see him try and talk to Sansa,
And
after
she's
that
still
little
kind of
spat. Like, get out of my face. I have Brienne Toth to protect me now. I don't need you.
Right.
Number 4 is Cersei, just because at
So
the end of
I'm shocked.
Oh no, aren't you so shocked?
So surprised.
I
Because she's done a ton.
at the end of season 6, she took out about 50 people, including like 6 main characters. So that mainly had something to do with the 4 spot for my power rankings.
That's fair.
But she also called in Euron Greyjoy, and
Well, she didn't
depending-
call him in.
Well, I thought she said she called.
No, he came. Remember? And then they said, "Oh, there's a bunch of ships."
I
And
thought
then-
because Jamie said that you invited the Greyjoys.
Well, I mean, I guess it was implied,
Yeah.
maybe, but
Regardless, she's
there was some form
teaming-
of contact, but I don't know if it was like specified who really did what.
Yeah.
Because I think Urine made first contact and she replied,
fair enough.
but I don't know if she was like reaching out. Because I mean, maybe I missed it, but I didn't seem clear to me that she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get the Greyjoys now."
Yeah.
I think it was just he contacted her and they tried to reciprocate because he like originally he said he was going for Daenerys.
Yeah.
And I can't really see why that would all of a sudden change, but he definitely has some sort of
Yeah, and
plan.
speaking of Euron, he's my number 3 because he has 1,000 ships. To me, his persona is pretty badass. He looks like a badass pirate king, and from his perspective, if he's not, and if he knows, I mean, I think I can't remember if he mentioned that he knows that his nephew and his niece, Yara and Theon are in Marine, then he knows that. He knows that they stole the ships, obviously. So I just think with all the ships, and if they can somehow team up with the Lannisters. That's still a decent army. They still have King's Landing, which is a mega fortress. So I just thought that was interesting. And then number 2 I have is Jon Snow, Battle of the Bastards, leading up into season 7. Arguably the biggest badass in the show. Probably the biggest badass in the show. Battle of the Bastards. Now he's King of the North. He fucking addresses Sansa in the meeting with everybody else, tells it how it is, makes a decision, and it ended up working out because they team up with the Khal Starks. And then number 1 is Arya Stark, because at the end of season 6, she takes out Walder Frey, she takes out Meryn Trant, she takes out 30 Freys at the beginning before the intro even runs, and she gets to hang out with Ed Sheeran for a scene. So Arya Stark is numero uno on my power rankings.
Okay.
Who's your 5?
5. So mine's gonna be inverse because my number 5 is gonna be Arya,
Okay.
and for pretty much the same reasons. I mean,
But just lower tier for you?
yeah, because she didn't do anything last season until the very end.
True,
And it was
okay.
really obnoxious because
Fair.
if she could have just left, then what was the point of her staying there?
She did
but
drop the mic in front of Jakar Nagar.
yeah, and just said, "Yeah, I'm going home."
Peacing.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is like, then what was the point of learning all this stuff this
Fair enough.
entire
Well,
time?
to kill all those people.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying that if she's just gonna pick up and leave and not complete the training or whatever,
True. Yeah.
Then-
Why do it the whole time?
yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Who's
So-
your number 4?
Number 4, I'm gonna go with the Hound.
Hound.
I'm a big fan of the Hound.
Yeah.
and
You've
I did
always been a big fan.
No, I have not.
Or
He was one of my least favorite characters,
When
and then
he-
I did a total 180
when he
with the Hound.
started with Arya. When he started traveling with Arya, that's when we started to like him, right?
A little bit.
Okay.
And then after reading the books, I got a way bigger fan of the Hound. I think the Hound is like, he does a lot of like terrible things, obviously, but he just is so like, I don't know, he's just so brutal and raw. It's kind of like Tormund. Tormund's done just as much crazy crap, but like they just are what they are.
The
and
Hound's
it's-
just a badass.
yeah. So I'm a big fan.
Okay.
Number-
Number 3.
Number 3, Daenerys.
Okay.
Because I think Daenerys is gonna finish up on top.
Yeah.
So
Her and John. I mean that's the most common theory, but you got to think that's how it's gonna
yeah,
happen.
but well, I don't think John's gonna technically finish on top because I don't think he's gonna rule. I
Oh,
think
okay.
Daenerys is. I think if I'm going off of the premise that there's one king or queen for all of the lands, and she is going to be the queen.
Fair enough.
Because her and John obviously aren't going to get married.
Yeah.
But I just think that
Incest cousins.
yeah. But I think that she's gonna. I think she's gonna rule the land because I don't think John cares.
Yeah. No, you're right.
But
So who's your number 2?
she has Tyrion with her in Grey Room's a baller.
Yeah.
So
Grey Room's
big-
the shit.
yeah, big fan of Daenerys' storyline. Number 2, Lady Mormont,
Awesome choice.
because she,
That's a fucking great power ranking right there.
if she was in the first scene of the first episode, this show would be 1 episode long.
I'm not gonna sit by the fire and knit while men fight my battles for me.
She's the biggest badass in the entire show.
Yeah, that was one of the most awesome scenes in the show.
And
period.
and everything she does is just her mic drop after mic drop.
Yeah.
And she's just this tiny little girl in this like sea of all these like older like war gritted men, and
Yeah.
she's just total badass. Came for the Starks too.
With what was it, 100 dudes or whatever? She
Yeah.
just gave all she.
She's
all
like,
she had.
this is what I got. Whatever, we'll
Yeah.
figure it out. So huge fan.
Okay, who's your number
big.
1? Big numero uno,
JS Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
That's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's figured so much out on his own, and he was treated like such crap when he was a kid. Rise to the top to just the second below Daenerys at the end. I'm all about that.
You got to think.
He's
that-
getting a dragon.
Yeah, you got to
better.
think that after this entire show of just constantly shitting all over the Starks,
Yeah,
that in the end they're gonna rise up.
yeah.
And kick it.
But I do know a lot of people that hate Daenerys, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
So I do get that. But John's surviving.
We do not hear on this show.
Yeah, I definitely like Daenerys a lot.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are our reactions, including some fan reactions and our trademarked, because I'm not giving that up, Game of Thrones power rankings, 1 through 5. We're going to do each of those every single week here on youtube.com/TJENT at noon Eastern time. Did I say on Tuesday already?
I believe you did.
On Tuesday.
Just
You
make
heard it
sure.
again.
Make sure.
And if you want to let us know your reactions and get on the show, just like the others that we showed today, go on patreon.com/TJENT, and you can be in any tier or donate any amount of money, and as long as you post your reactions by
Boom. Red.
by Monday, we'll say by Monday at 5 p.m. By the end of the workday on Monday, we'll get it in the video, and we'll get you on Tuesday every reaction video. Tom,
It's been real.
cheers to a great season.
Yes, I concur.